Yeah, we are back on this again. Okay, we're back on this again. The Sanders boys, the Deion Sanders youngest sons, Shilo and Shador. Right, but this one is actually about Shilo today. Okay, now we all know the whole situation with the hate that Shador was getting, the hate that Deion was getting, right? Still getting. This is present tense. Okay. We know what's happening with that. Everybody knows. And the boys know also. I'm sure the boys have been prepped to know the hate's going to come. Okay. The hate's going to come. We know certain images that certain groups of people that have agendas like to see. Hasn't changed, man. The devil has no new tricks. The devil has no new tricks. Pay attention. Pay attention. All right. So now, Shador, pardon me, my bad. Shilo, who was playing for was the Buccaneers. He's actually been cut. He's been cut from the team. Why, you ask? Well, Shilo decided to throw a punch to his opponent mid-game. This one I got to get on Shilo about. Okay, this one, we can say what everybody else is doing, but Shilo, he stepped in it. Bottom line, he stepped in it, man. You got to call a spade a spade. He stepped in it. He did. And I'm sure he's aware of that. Okay. And, he's cut from the team. Yeah, this is still preseason, but they're also looking to trim the fat of all these teams. And yes, we know there's an agenda going on in the actual, in the NFL. There's an agenda. All these people at the top of these teams, they're all on the same page. We know that. Okay. But I don't blame a snake for being a snake, man. I don't blame a snake for being a snake, but I will blame me if I see the snake and decide to get bit by it. Accountability. Let's go back to the same conversation. Accountability is key. All right. And it's also key to your empowerment. You feel me? So, Shadow's playing a game, preseason game against the Buffalo Bills. And he's playing against Zach Davidson. Now, Zach Davidson also, he was doing some roughhousing also at the same time. A lot of roughhousing, a lot of taunting, right? But once Shador lost his cool and swing that punch, he fell right into the trap, man. He fell right into the trap. Okay. So, now it looked orchestrated. I'm going to keep it a stack with you. What Zach Davidson was doing, it looked orchestrated. But this is not about Zach. This is about Shador. Okay. It's about Shador. Yeah, they're going to set the trap, but don't walk into it at the same time. This is bigger than you. All right. This is bigger than you. Okay. Man, gotta light this thing properly. This is why it's good to never puff a cigar, put it out, and then relight it again, because then you'll have problems relighting it. Anyway, so once he punched him, he was tossed out of the game. Zach, of course, didn't get any penalties, right? Because once Shador threw the punch, it was all on Shador at that point. Okay. So now the goal now is to see if his agent could get him locked into another team. It's going to be tough. It was tough before. It's going to be even tougher now. Now, he has stats. He can play. Okay. But it's ain't about stats with this one. These guys don't care about stats. Okay. This is about a bigger play that's happening behind the scenes. Okay, there's games on top of games on top of games on top of games is being played here. All right, this is about like 4D chess. Okay, this is not, one-dimensional chess is being played here. You feel me? So now, can he get back on his feet? He can. He can. It's going to be tough, though. It's going to be tough. So he might have to take a couple, he might have to take some, take a pay cut, possibly. I don't know. Take a deal or contract that's not as lucrative as he would want it to be. Right? But once you step in it, you're in it. All you got to do now from that point, dust yourself off, right? Clean off your shoes and get back into the game, man. Just get back into the game. Okay? So, but the bottom line is this, for me, as it relates to this situation, not only with Shilo, but also with Shador and Dion. Okay? And Dion. You got to understand, this is more than just them playing. This is about what they represent as it relates to NFL anyway. This is about what they represent. You have a father who's super involved, black father also, right? Super involved, intelligent, strategic, and above all, influential. The greatest power on the planet is influence, the ability to influence the masses. That's dangerous to those that don't have that ability. All right? Dangerous. As that's how they're going to see it. It's dangerous for them in their position that they want to keep, stable. Okay? So like they have to, it's almost a social imperative, right? They have to be cunning. They have to be cunning. They have no other option at that point. They cannot do what you do. They cannot do what you do, right? You know what I'm saying? And so when you want to exercise nepotism, like what Dion wants to do, okay, and show that you don't need, that's the key. When you show that you don't need them, that's the part that they fear, because they're not thinking about themselves. They're thinking about their bloodline going down into the future for generations. Okay? This is how all other groups think. Only people who don't think that way, for the most part, in large number, is so-called black people. It's going to change. It's going to change. Is it going to be the vast number of black? No, but it's going to be a larger number than what is today. It's going to happen. Okay. But you've heard me say in the past that we are the source and the sauce. We are the source and the sauce, right? So when you got the influence and the ability, and then you have the business acumen and know-how, that's a trifecta right there, man. That's the Holy Trinity. You feel me? That's the Holy Trinity. Influence, ability, and business acumen. That's the Holy Trinity. Everybody doesn't have that. Most people are short one or two. Okay? Dion and people who, the vast majority of so-called black people, just calling a spade. Everybody knows it. They don't want to say it, though. They know that they can't do in large number unless they're inspired by us, what we do. Okay? Let's just call it a spade, man. So in the past, they was able to look at us and say, oh, all they have is the ability, but they don't have the know-how. That's changed greatly, right? So what they're doing, it may seem like it's evil, but from their position, this is a matter of life and death for them. They have to do what they have to do to survive. Okay? Because once we realize that we are the source and the sauce, that we have the ability the influence, and the know-how, right? The business know-how, they know that they're no longer necessary. Okay? All the manna will fall from heaven, will fall into our baskets. Okay? Now, right now, they're standing next to us, getting some of that manna also. You know, like they got the baskets out too, and they're getting some too. Okay, cool. Right? And there's nothing wrong with sharing. There's nothing wrong with doing business together as long as it's mutually beneficial. Right? But for a long time, they've been in a position where they're controlling things. They see Dion as the representation of that changing. And once he's able to influence not only his sons, but the vast majority of so-called black people who are also influenced, game over. Game over. Okay? Game over. This is their perspective. Okay? So like I don't blame a snake for being a snake, but I blame myself for getting bit by the snake. All right? So Shilo, Shador, they got to know better. Shador's keeping it player right now. He's keeping it straight. He's keeping it, focused. He's staying focused. And right now, they're going to have to get even more focused. They're going to have to stay in Super Saiyan mode. They're going to have to stay in God mode. All right? You have to stay in God mode. Okay? God is not concerned with the affairs of mere mortals. Okay? An ant has no quarrel with a boot. Okay? Get it right. All right? So they're going to have to stay in that frame of mind at all times. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be a lot of challenges. It's going to be a lot of things trying to knock them off their square. That's the fact, though. Ain't nothing changed. The devil has no new tricks. The devil has no new tricks. Pay attention. All right? But we're going to see what Shilo does and how this is going to affect them as a group, as a unit going forward. We're going to see, right? God can find a way through anything. God can make a way out of nowhere. He can find a way through anything. Operating your God consciousness at all times, man. All right, Shilo. All right, Shador. All right, Dion. And all right, all other so-called original people on the planet operating your God consciousness at all times. And you'll be able to make a way out of nowhere. That's a fact, though. All right, that's my, my motivational speech for the night also. All right, take that with you. All right, you're welcome. And that was the freebie, too. Normally I charge, but I'm giving you the freebie with that one right there. All right.